That's right. The champ is here, loved by many, hated by a few, respected by all. It's second to none, second to none. Right on time. We running it like an old-fashioned Mike Tyson fight, in and out. So that's the way this show is going to be today. We're on the air right exactly at 4:06. 4:06, and yep, 4:06. Well, '06, I'm an alpha man. So '06 means something to me. You can follow me on Twitter, EdGray1906. You can follow me on Instagram, EdGray1906. I'm stuck on '06, but I'm also stuck on music. And today, well, we got a special treat today. But first, I want to go ahead and send a shout out to all those people who are listening to us and looking at us at Michael's of Las Colinas. We'll be over there shortly. HBCU, Kentucky Derby Day. Kentucky Derby Day at Michael's of Las Colinas. Earlier today, my producer and myself, we were talking about music, and today we have a great show. We have Mr. Gary Hines of Sounds of Blackness. You remember that, right? Optimistic. Now, if you remember when I did my show on Heaven 97, KHVN 970 AM on your radio dial, I used to feature as an intro and an outro of Sounds of Blackness, optimistic. And we're going to be optimistic because we understand the pressure that's going on today. But hashtag you are going to win. If you are familiar with Sounds of Blackness, you know that I just slipped right there 3 songs of Sounds of Blackness. But this past week, a good friend of mine, we were looking at who's going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, we want to congratulate Willie Nelson, Texas. I also want to congratulate Missy Elliott. But, I think we need to have another campaign that goes on in 2024. Not the presidential campaign, but War 2024. That's right, War 2024. That kind of rhymes, doesn't it? And Angelo came up with that a few minutes ago. Howard Scott of War. Well, he's right here at this studio, right here with us a lot of times. So, Angelo, he's the only person I know who's a producer of War and also Ed Gray of the Commercial Radio Show. So we're going to start a campaign on that. But, we're still campaigning. Angelo, are you mic'd up by any chance? If you are mic'd up, get mic'd up just for a second so the people can hear you. And then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about today's show as well. All right, Angelo, you there?
I'm here.
All right, so why should War be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Oh, man, that is a loaded question, but I guess you could start with the fact that the music that they created is timeless. And I'll just go ahead and say this. I hear a War song almost every single day somewhere, whether it be the grocery store, I'm at a smoothie shop, I'm at a juice shop, I'm out and about at a Sonic drive-in, someone's playing Lowrider, someone's playing Why Can't We Be Friends, someone's playing Galaxy, someone's playing Cisco Kid. I mean, these songs go back all the way to my childhood, listening to them, my dad playing them, and just hearing how relevant and how timeless they still are. I mean, that's what music is about. And if anything, that's what we recognize these kinds of artists for creating that timeless music that you can turn on at any time, look around and say, man, this is still going on right now, and we still need to do something about it.
That's right. And speaking of timeless, that's how we got this interview that's coming up with, Gary Hines. I mentioned to their producer, Sounds of Blackness producer, that I did an interview with Howard Scott of War, and we sent that video through YouTube. I keep telling you guys, follow me on YouTube. Well, obviously Sounds of Blackness follows me, and you should too. So, we sent them that video, and when they saw the video of, the Commercial Radio Show, they were thrilled because, as I've often said, this radio podcast is the best radio podcast from Como to the Congo. And if you're in Fort Worth, clearly you know where Como's at, and you're part of the world, which clearly you should be, because obviously you're looking at this show, you should know where the Congo's at. You should also have already voted by now. If you haven't already voted, you need to go ahead and vote. So I had the opportunity to talk to Gary Hines, but, you know, some of you folks out there a little younger than I am. A lot of you folks out there a little younger than I am. But Optimistic was something that I played on Heaven 97, and I want you to go ahead and listen to this tune, and when we come back, we will we'll have Gary Hines on to talk about hashtag You're Gonna Win. And to all those people out there who are campaigning for the municipal elections, hashtag You Are Gonna Win. All right, Angelo.
You want to play that song?
Yep.
Sounds of blackness, y'all. Millennial.
Not You're Gonna Win.
The blackness. The blackness.
Come on, y'all.
Never say die. Hashtag you're gonna win. Come on.
Woo!
When you feel like you just can't go on, feeling like you're all alone, that's when you reach way down in your soul, find the strength that you need to keep going.
I know that this here life sometimes can get tough. Saying to yourself, I wanna give up, but know that there's a change that's coming. Just believe in yourself. You're gonna make it, I promise. From the mountaintops to the valley low, remember the dream. Hand in hand in a moment, never give up, just try. Keep your head up to the sky, tell you why. You're gonna win, believe it.
Those times you felt like all your hope was gone, threw your hands up and said, God, I'm on my own. And then a blessing shows up out of nowhere. Then you say to yourself, He answered my prayer.
Don't you give up, don't you ever give in. Don't give in. It's your time to stand and say, I can. Hold on to your... Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd88@yahoo.com. With me, it's all about you.
Hey, how you doing? This is Ed Gray of the Commish Radio Show. Stay tuned and tune in and be up to speed on everything in social justice, human rights, and politics on the Commish Radio Show, airing every Saturday, 5 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Hi, this is Howard Scott from The Howard Scott Show, coming to you from beautiful Arlington, Texas on Fishbowl Radio. You can catch me every Wednesday from 6 to 7, and we play all this war music, and you get to hear some of the songs that I wrote when I was in the band War, how I created the songs, the stories behind it, and we start off with the blues. You have a good time talking to me, so tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7, catch The Howard Scott Show. We're having a whole lot of fun on Fishbowl Radio.
Jump in.
Who was that masked man? You mean you don't know? That was no masked man. That was the Commish. Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Got it. All right, Commish Radio Show back again, as you know. Loved by many, hated by a few, respected by all, with second to none. You can follow us on Twitter, EdGray1906, on Instagram, EdGray1906. And hey, LinkedIn too. Just go Ed Gray. I mean, vote the name Ed Gray. But we were talking about the war campaign before. We just pulled those Howard Scott drops, man. I forgot I did a drop with Howard Scott, man. So that's all good. So thank you for doing that. So we are very serious about War 2024, getting that going on. And as I stated before, since we are on Facebook, we want you to share this as quickly as possible, because Facebook is not all about, well, they're not about justice all the time, because anytime we talk about justice, they always kind of block us. But, you know, we've been playing music, and we happen to have played, Sounds of Blackness, hashtag you are going to win. You're going to win. We have that, and we have permission from Sounds of Blackness to play it. So I'm obviously going to protest it if they go ahead and try to take us off there, which no doubt they probably will. But that being said, we got to work around for that. I'm just going to ask them live on the air. Hey, you got Mr. Hines online right now? All right, you there?
Yes, I am, my brother.
Good to talk to you, brother. How you been?
Oh, man, bless you. When I grow up, I still want to be like you.
No, come on, man. That's a wild
I got a long way to go.
Man, come on, man. You've been in the business a long time. And you know what? I am so glad that you heard everything we were doing to get us back on the air, because we had talked about war. I talked about how I played the music, and you heard the drops and everything, man. And so it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing for you to,
yes, it is,
to do that, man. What I'm going to go ahead and do, I know you're really busy, but I'd like to thank your PR team for allowing me the opportunity to interview you, because I mentioned to them about war and how I've been interviewing people as well. So I'm glad that you are going to allow us the opportunity to interview you. So 50 years in the game, man.
Yes, sir. By the grace of God, a lot of sweat, and by the dedication of amazing singers and musicians. And the other component is you, my brother, because, you know, the scripture says, how will they hear without a preacher? Well, when it comes to music, we can make all the music we want, but how will they hear without a DJ? How will they hear without an Ed Gray, without a Heaven Without the Commish? And so thank you for that support on behalf of Sounds of Blackness.
Well, thank you. How did you guys get started, man? You got, as they say in church, a choir. How did you guys get started?
And a band. Yes, sir. But we began at my alma mater right here in the Twin Cities, Macalester College, and this is technically our 52nd anniversary now here in 2023. But there's a Texas connection, which I'm sure you'll appreciate, because our original emeritus founder, my dear brother Russell Knighton, is a native of Beaumont, Texas. Mm-hmm. And he was a student at Macalester, and he started a group called the Macalester College Black Voices in 1969. And in January of 71, when he was getting ready to graduate, he brought me on as director of the group, and we renamed the group Sounds of Blackness because, you know, the vision God gave us, Brother Ed, was to follow the tradition of Duke Ellington. Now, that surprises a lot of people when I say that, because a lot of people don't know that Duke Ellington, along with his great jazz compositions, also did gospel, spirituals, anthems, African music. He did every sound of blackness. So we followed in that, and that's why we renamed ourselves Sounds of Blackness, meaning every style of black music. And so that's our Texas connection through our founder, Brother Russell Knighton. And so shout out to him from Beaumont, Texas.
From Beaumont, Texas. Hey, Beaumont, they contributed a lot on that. But Minneapolis sound, man. You got Sounds of Blackness. Name some of the other groups you guys have personally worked with and the producers you work with.
Oh, God, man, we're just so blessed, brother. I mean, you know, certainly, first and foremost, our dear friends and brothers, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the top production team of all time in the history of pop music. In fact, they were just recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They got their walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and deservedly so. And, of course, our dear friend, and it's so hard to still say departed brother Prince, a friend and brother for over 40 years. And he included Sounds of Blackness in many of his projects, recordings, live performances, and on and on. It was a great supporter. So the Minneapolis Sound is really a family, Brother Ed, along with brothers Morris Day and The Time. And a lot of people don't know that the great Alexander O'Neal started with Sounds of Blackness when he moved to Minneapolis from Natchez, Mississippi. So he's from the South as well, but he started with Sounds of Blackness. And then another great name, Cynthia Johnson, who your listeners may not know that name up front, but if I say Funky Town, they know immediately who that is. So Cynthia is the voice of Funky Town. And, of course, the great Ann Nesby, who I know would want me to send you love, is another one of our premier emeritus former sounds. Well, never former, because she said, once a sound, always a sound.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Now, that's a great catalog of artists that's been with Sounds of Blackness and been affiliated with Sounds of Blackness. What's going on now?
Right now, my brother, we are blessed with really the second generation. We're saying Sounds of Blackness second generation because literally a number of our current members are actually the offspring of earlier and original members. So the great Jamesia Bennett, who you hear and wrote and produced the song You're Gonna Win and directed the video as well, she is Ann Nesby's daughter. And I just mentioned Cynthia Johnson, Cynthia's daughter. Mika is one of our wonderful sopranos. We have Lacey Dreams is the daughter of Joanne Hollies Johnson. So we have a number of members that are offspring of originals. So this is Sounds of Blackness second generation, and we don't want to leave out our band either. We're blessed with an amazing 10-piece band, 6-piece rhythm section and 4 horns. And so the music that you hear, those tracks that you hear with Sounds, those are not hired help or pickup musicians. Those are full-fledged Sounds of Blackness members.
Wow. Now, when you guys have a rehearsal, what is the food budget?
Well, that's a good question, brother. Well, in terms of our rehearsals, we most often rehearse separately, band and singers, and we generally encourage everyone to eat, before rehearsal kind of thing. But every now and then when we do combine, for a major concert and all that kind of thing, we do have to put out a few dollars to feed the flock. But you know what? they deserve it, and they're more than worth it.
Well, you've never been on the show before, never saw it before, but that's the way I am, cool, just like that. So what's that about? So hashtag you're going to win. Tell me the concept on that.
Yes, and again, shout out to our own beloved Jamesia Bennett, who wrote and produced the song along with our dear brother Darnell Davis. You're probably familiar with Darnell Davis and The Remnant, so that Darnell Davis. So they wrote and produced the great song, hashtag You're Gonna Win. And I'm so glad you mentioned social justice, and then that's where your head is at, because that's where our head and heart are at also, Brother Gray. And I include that in part of my answer about You're Gonna Win, because You're Gonna Win and our previous single, Hold Up Your Light by our own Carrie Harrington, are actually social justice songs, but more in an interpersonal way. So Hold Up Your Light, told us to never lose the faith, and You're Gonna Win now tells us to keep our head up to the sky, let freedom ring. But it says when you're feeling all alone and all those kind of things, that believing in yourself is really the key, and you will know that freedom can ring and that you're going to win. So You're Gonna Win is, like I say, more of an interpersonal social justice song that's about personal encouragement and inspiration, as well as letting freedom ring for us all.
All right. So as I've talked to you about my past, on Heaven 97, I used to play the intro and outro of Optimistic. And Miss Bennett, man, she says millennial. So she kicks it off with millennial. You happen to have the video on that, Angelo? You're Gonna Win. You got that? So let's go ahead and look at that video right quick. And we'll get you right back online, Mr. Hines. But we want the people to see it because we have this on Facebook Live, so they'll be able to see it. And we know they will be greatly impressed, as I am. This is done. I don't know how you guys get all those cereal boxes in there, man. I mean, the colors and everything are so vibrant. So, brother,
that's
the message.
Decision.
The message is just, so let your folks know, I was peeping all that out. So let your folks know. So it wasn't just me just, bobbing and everything. I said, look at the colors of that. Look at this. Look at this. So they've done it. They kicked it off millennial style. So, Angelo, let's play it. Let's go.
Sounds Sounds of blackness, y'all. Millennium.
The blackness. The blackness.
Come on, y'all.
Never say die. Hashtag you're gonna win. Come on.
Woo!
When you feel like you just can't go on, feeling like you're all alone, that's when you reach way down in your soul, find the strength that you need to keep going, going.
I know that this here life sometimes can get tough. Saying to yourself, I wanna give up, but know that there's a change that's coming. Just believe in yourself. You're gonna make it, I promise. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop to the valley low. Live by the dream. Walk hand in hand with a woman there. Don't give up, just try. Make it, keep your head up to the sky. Tell you why. Hashtag you're gonna win. Believe it.
Those times you felt like all your hope was gone, threw your hands up and said, God, I'm on my own. And then a blessing shows up out of nowhere. Then you say to yourself, He answered my prayer.
Don't you give up, don't you ever give in. Don't give in. It's your time to stand and say, I can. Hold on to your faith and believe your dreams are so possible. Don't stop, you're gonna succeed. You just got to believe in yourself and be strong. You're gonna be alright. Oh, you're gonna be okay. Don't you worry yourself. Be strong. Hold on. Don't worry, no. Just hold on. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop to the valley low. Live by the dream. Walk hand in hand with a woman there. Don't give up, just try. And make it, keep your head up to the sky. Tell you why. Hashtag you're gonna win. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop to the valley low. Dream. Walk hand in hand with a woman there. Every woman, just man. Make it, keep your head up to the sky. Tell you why. Hashtag you're gonna win. Don't let nobody stop ya. You're gonna win. No, don't let nobody block ya. You're gonna win. Yeah. You got it, just believe. Hashtag you're gonna win. No matter how hard reality seems. Your dream. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop to the valley low. Let it ring, dream. Walk hand in hand with a woman there. Don't give up, just try. Don't give up. Keep your head up to the sky. Tell me why. Oh no, you're gonna win. Let freedom ring from the mountaintop to the valley low. To the valley low, low, low. Walk hand in hand with a woman there. Don't give up, just try. Make it, keep your head up to the sky.
That I think I may just adopt that and make that my personal anthem. I'm not a nation. Well, I guess I could be a nation to myself. But hey, you're gonna win, Mr. Hines, Gary.
Yes, sir.
Man, brother, y'all did it on that, man.
Oh, bless you again. Hats off to our beloved Jamesia Bennett. Again, she's the daughter of the great Ann Nesby, so the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. And she wrote it and recorded it and produced it along with our brother Darnell Davis. And the video that you were raving about and that everybody's raving about, she directed. That's her concept. You asked about all the different shots in the cereals and all the different colors. She's just a visionary, and we want to encourage all of your listeners, my brother Ed, to, of course, go to YouTube and check out You're Gonna Win video, and it's available for purchase on all the different formats, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, so forth. And on May 16th, we're going to be releasing the Afrobeat remix of You're Gonna Win, and we'll be sure to get that to you immediately if we haven't already.
All right. Hey, anytime you need me to do anything for you, feel free to reach out, because you're up there in the front lines, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I understand that your studio is down the street from where George Floyd, where that incident, where he died at, where he was killed at. Is that correct?
That is very correct, sir. In fact, you're referring to Sebastian Community Center, where we often rehearse at, and where we have our storage space and have rehearsed and performed at for years. That's in the heart of the South Side, the Black community here in Minneapolis. And on 38th Street and 3rd Avenue, and George was killed literally 4 or 5 blocks from there. And so the next night after he was murdered, right there, of course, I canceled our rehearsal. We were all at the rally, and my brother Ed, there were like, the media downplayed it. There were tens of thousands of people in the street, white, black, brown, yellow, red, men, women, young, old, all there. And many of them, through the loudspeakers, were playing our song at the time, Black Lives Matter. And a lot of our Caucasian brothers and sisters were blasting out of their cars, Black Lives Matter, and Sounds of Blackness were there because this is our community. Some of us, he worked out at the same gym that I work out at. It just goes on and on. He had done security, speaking of Jamesia, for Jamesia as well. So a lot of personal ties, and of course the cultural ties, and we will be commemorating the 3rd anniversary of his loss out at Paisley Park on May 26th, along with other artists as well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked that question as well. And, I had to check myself, because I said the incident. Hell, it wasn't an incident. He was murdered. He was killed. So, that's
Yes,
like
sir.
downplaying, like you just said. The media downplays things. And, we can't downplay injustice, and that's what that's about. What's the name of the tune that you said now? We want to make sure, I'm saying this live so Angelo can make sure to download it as well as to download the video. What's the name of it? We did Black Lives Matter. That's the name of it.
Black Lives Matter, yes. But the song that we actually wrote for him and recorded, and Jamesia directed this video. She's just in the mix today. A song called Sick and Tired. And we got that title, I know you're aware, but for your listeners who may not be, and I'm sure they've heard the term, but they may not know who it began with, the great Fannie Lou Hamer.
Right.
The great civil rights activist said at the 1964 Democratic Convention to the whole world, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when brother was, I just want to say this quickly if I can, Brother Ed.
Go ahead, brother.
When George was killed, I got calls even from different PD's program directors, like yourself, around the country. And they were looking for another optimistic from Sounds of Blackness. Gary, we need something happy. We need something to uplift the people. But I got to tell you, that is not how God and how the Holy Spirit was leading me. There was too much righteous indignation, as the Bible says, and anger to come out with a happy, happy song. It wasn't, the scripture tells us there's a season for all things, a time to embrace and time to refrain from embracing. And God gave me the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so that's the route we went with that. And very few stations embraced it, but that wasn't what was important. It was important for us to go as God had led us and to make that statement.
Well, we're going to make sure we put that in our repertoire because I control this and they don't control it. And if you got to ask who they is, you're probably scared of who they are. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and put that in our repertoire as well as Sick and Tired. Now, we're negotiating this live on air right now. I appeared on a radio podcast at Friendship West Baptist Church, but Freddie Haynes, Pastor Freddie Haynes, is a pastor of that church, and they have a podcast called Fannie Lou's Classroom. I want you to hook up with them since you sick and tired. So we'll get you sick and tired to be with Pastor Freddie Haynes and Fannie Lou Hamer Classroom, and we'll go ahead and do that and have Sounds of Blackness do that. So, that's what we'll go ahead and do. I'm fired up already on that.
Oh man, God bless you for that, my brother. And you know what? Before we released it, we got in touch with the late great Fannie Lou Hamer's estate and became friends with her niece. Everybody calls her Cookie Hamer, and got their blessing and permission, to use that phrase and all that kind of thing. And we donated a portion of any proceeds sales, to the Fannie Lou Hamer Foundation. Just as with Sick and Tired, we still to this day donate a portion of proceeds to the George Floyd Scholarship Fund. So we don't just talk the walk, brother. We walk the talk. And thank you for being like-minded. I mean, that you just are encouraging me. And now, of course, You're Gonna Win is in the vanguard.
All right, we're going to do this together. We're going to walk down this together. The path of the righteous man is beset by the inequities and the selfishness and the tyranny of evil men. So we're going to walk together in this path. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you for calling in. Hashtag You're Gonna Win. I'm going to holler at you soon, sir, brother, because, we got a lot of common goals that we need to pursue together. So thank you. Thank you, my brother. You have any parting words before we let you go?
Yes. Again, on behalf of Sounds of Blackness singers and band, thank you, Brother Ed, and all your listeners for 50 years of supporting Sounds of Blackness. This is the 32nd anniversary of your favorite Sounds of Blackness song, Optimistic. And so we thank you for all of that. We thank the Sounds of Blackness singers and band. And we just direct everybody to our website, soundsofblackness.org, and all the merchandise you see us wearing in the video, you can go there and purchase, and know again that a portion of that is going to go to the George Floyd Scholarship Fund. And we're available. Please give us a hit on our sites, our social media sites. We're on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and of course Facebook, just under Sounds of Blackness. If you type that in, it'll pop up, and we will communicate with you. But thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Your warm-ups, I can get a warm-up on there? You got warm-ups in there, too?
Yeah, come on, man. Anybody that knows me, I live in sweat clothes. I'm wearing them right now. So we got a lot of hoodies and T-shirts, sweatpants, a ton of. If you go to soundsofblackness.org and then click on merchandise, you will see, you'll be scrolling for a while. And you know what? You let me know what you like. And because of your graciousness, brother, we will send it to you, and I will take care of it just as a gift to you.
Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you very much. All right, we'll let you go. We'll talk to you real soon. Thank you, Brother Hines.
You got it.
Right.
Thank you, my brother.
All right. Well, Angelo, I think that was a very well done interview, man.
I agree.
Yeah, so we got a lot accomplished right then and there, and we are still rocking and rolling right now. I think now's the time for us to end this segment. Let's go ahead and pull that video up. Hashtag You're Gonna Win. All right? Let's play the whole segment. Let's play the whole song.
Sounds of Blackness, y'all. Millennial.
The blackness. The blackness.
Come on, y'all.
Never say die. Hashtag You're Gonna Win.
Come on.
Woo!
When you feel like you just can't go on, feeling like you're all alone, that's when you reach way down in your soul, find the strength that you need to keep going, going.
I know that this here life sometimes can get tough. Saying to yourself, I wanna give up, but know that there's a change that's coming. Just believe in yourself. You're gonna make it up from it. From the mountain tops to the valley low, remember the dream. Hand in hand, every woman there, don't give up, just try. And baby, keep your head up till let's tell you why. You're gonna win, believe it.
Those times you felt like all your hope was gone, threw your hands up and said, God, I'm on my own. And then a blessing shows up out of nowhere. Then you say to yourself, He answered my prayer.
Don't you give up, don't you
Who was that masked man? You mean you don't know? That was no masked man. That was the commish. Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network.
The Commish Radio Show. You got the mic on this one?
Yes, sir.
All right, I can't hear myself, but I'll go ahead and there we go. I hear it now. I hear a little echo. That's all I need because I like to hear the sound of my voice. We want you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and share this, if you will. We have Oscar Hawk that's looking and listening in to us right now. Miss Portia Taylor is listening in as well. We want you to share this as well because we have a feeling that, well, since we are talking about the things that you want to talk about, that Facebook won't put it out there. Well, because what they'll try to do is they say, well, hey, you didn't have permission to play the song when we actually had the person who wrote the song on the show. That's happened before because we've had Howard Scott of War. We had him on the show and we did that. But more so important than that, we want you to share this because of the content involved. Hashtag you're going to win, so that is done by Sounds of Blackness. We had them early on the show, so if you tuned in late, we had them early on the show, and like to go ahead and say we are going to get them back again on the show as well because they have an amazing body of work, that's out there, amazing body of work. We were talking about social justice, and this radio podcast is now in partnership with Sounds of Blackness. You heard it right here. You just rewind the track. Say, well, you're talking social justice. We're in it with you. So we're in it with Sounds of Blackness as well. So they have amazing. Optimistic is what I used to play at KHVN. And they have the reparations song in which we're demanding reparations. And then they have Black Lives Matter. And they also had Sick and Tired. And that is those are some of the ones we will be playing on this show as well because they are friends of this radio show, this radio podcast. So Optimistic was, as I said before, a song that's dear to my heart as well. So we are going to end this segment of our podcast with Optimistic. So that is something that we need to be, despite everything that's happened in this country. We are all Americans, but somehow or another, Black Americans have, well, not somewhere or another, we know that we have a reason not to be optimistic, but despite it all, we are optimistic. Despite it all, we are optimistic. And as I was talking to Brother Hines, and he was saying that he worked out at the same gymnasium that George Floyd worked out at, that George Floyd was also the band's security guard at one time. So we have this connection with this radio show, this podcast show with justice, and we want you to have that same connection. So share this video out. Also join us on Ed Gray 1906 on Twitter, Ed Gray 1906 on Instagram, and go ahead and share this message. This message is about social justice and human rights and human dignity. We don't mess around because we ain't no clown. So that's what we do. So, I'm about to leave this show to go ahead to the HBCU weekend sponsored by Ron Fry Michaels of Las Colinas. I hope to see you there, in which we will be, we will be having a good time there, but trust me, in between the good times, we're always talking about hard times because either we're in a storm, headed to a storm, or we just left a storm. It's stormy weather out there, but we have a good reason to be optimistic. And as I used to do on Heaven 97, 970 AM on the dial, we used to go in with optimistic, and we will do our outro on, right here on, Fishbowl. in the Commish Radio Show with Optimistic. Angelo, let's take us home.
In the midst of
Scott from the Howard Scott Show, coming to you from beautiful Arlington, Texas on Fishbowl Radio. You can catch me every Wednesday from 6 to 7, and we play all this war music, and you get to hear some of the songs that I wrote when I was in the band War, how I created the songs, the stories behind it, and we start off with the blues. You have a good time talking to me, so tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7 and catch the Howard Scott Show. We're having a whole lot of fun on Fishbowl Radio.
Jump in.
Who was that masked man? You mean you don't know? That was no masked man. That was the commish. Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on the Fishbowl Radio Network.